Welcome back to the kitchen, guys. We've got a really fun dessert coming up for you today. It's apple pie with a slice of cheese ice cream. I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, it works. There's something about the sweetness with the savory mixing with that rich cream that just makes an amazing ice cream. It tastes like an apple slice of apple cheesecake, and it really is one of my favorite desserts. We're going to show you how it's made coming right up. So apple pie with a slice of cheese. Now, not everybody is familiar with it. It is pretty popular at diners here in New York.
I had black coffee and apple pie with a slice of melted yellow cheese. I think that was a good selection.
The idea is just that you melt a slice of cheddar cheese on top of apple pie. That may sound crazy, but the match is made in heaven. They go really well together. The savoriness and the saltiness of the cheese matches with the sweetness and the tartness of the apples, and it's a crazy match. You wouldn't expect it. Now, the other day, I was sitting around and I was craving apple pie with a slice of cheese, but then I was also like, oh, I could totally go for apple pie a la mode too, which is apple pie with ice cream on top. And then I thought, why don't I just combine all that wonderfulness into one dish? And I designed this ice cream, and it really is one of my favorite desserts. So we're gonna start by making our apple swirl. We're gonna use Granny Smith apples for that. I think these are the best apple. They have a nice tartness, and they hold up well to being cooked. So let's start by getting these peeled and diced up. So we're just gonna cut the core out of these, and then we'll dice these into like 1/4-inch pieces, just nice bite-sized pieces, so you can get little bites of apple in your ice cream. Really simple apple swirl. We're just gonna cook down some apples with some butter and brown sugar, make it kind of like an apple pie filling. So let's get in with a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. Just get that melted. Non-stick pan is a good idea here, because this is gonna get to be sticky caramel and we don't want it all stuck to the bottom of the pan. Butter is hot and foamy. Let's go in with our apples. We're just gonna saute this. It may take about 5 minutes or so. We're gonna cook it until the apple starts to soften and caramelize on the outside. Oh, Jose just tied it up with a homer. All right, guys, as you can see, these apples are starting to get some nice color. Just give them a little poke. I can see that they're starting to get soft. That's exactly what I want. Now we're gonna flambe these. I've got a little bit of apple brandy here. You don't have to have apple brandy. Any brandy will do. Rum will do nicely. In a pinch, even whiskey, but just some sort of alcohol to bring some depth of flavor to the dish. But obviously it's an apple dish, so apple brandy works great. Don't panic, but don't have a fire alarm right above you when you do this. That alcohol will burn off pretty quickly, but it's always nice to light it because it brings some depth, some like toffee and caramel notes to the dish when you actually flambe and you don't just let the alcohol cook off. That's why we do it. It's not just for show. A little bit of salt, just to bring out the sweetness. Some cinnamon, of course, because it's apple pie. And then we are using dark brown sugar here for its extra caramely, extra toffee, extra molassesy kind of flavor. And we are just gonna cook this till it's a right bubbly mess. Just heard the ice cream man outside, but who needs him, right? Let all that sugar melt. Make some gooey caramely apples. Just a couple minutes once you get the sugar in. Now after a couple minutes, your apples should be fully softened. No resistance when you poke them. That's what we want. I'm gonna kill my heat now. Let that die down for just a second. Then a couple tablespoons of heavy cream to tie it all together. Of course, we have to chill this, right? Because we're gonna add this towards the end of our ice cream making process and we don't want it to melt our ice cream, so we're gonna pop it into a bowl with a lid, get it into the fridge before we do anything else, give it a chance to cool down. Our second component to this ice cream, thanks, Veg. I don't know why I start when I see her tip-tapping through. She's gonna come in and just cough all over everything. Are you done? Cooking with 4 animals. Always a pleasure. Our second component to this ice cream is, of course, the cheese, but we're not just gonna throw a handful of cheese into ice cream and let it freeze. That would not be very appetizing. We have to create a cheese swirl, but we're gonna do that in a very simple way. We got some cheddar cheese here, shredded sharp cheddar. Sharp works best with this. It's got the best flavor, but if you've only got mild, that's fine too. Real basic cheese swirl. We got cheddar cheese, some cornstarch, and a touch of salt. We're gonna mix the cheddar with the cornstarch ahead of time. Getting the cheese coated in starch keeps the proteins in the cheese from binding together when you melt it, so you'll get a smooth cheese swirl instead of something clumpy. That's it. That's basically all we're gonna do. Now I've got a cup of heavy cream here. We're gonna bring this cream up to just a bare simmer over medium heat, and then we're gonna lower it to the lowest heat possible. You want it to barely be simmering when you add this cheese so it doesn't clump up. It's just gonna slowly, smoothly melt. I'm gonna start adding cheese, like a little half a handful at a time, keeping it in motion. Gonna let that fully melt in before we add any more. Motion's important here. We're keeping it smooth, no lumps. Go with a touch more. And then we will finish it off. Keep stirring until that cheese is fully melted. And as you can see, that cheese sauce is nice and thick. I'm gonna season with a little bit of salt. The savory with the sweet is a huge part of this ice cream. Now we're gonna put this in a covered container and we're gonna leave it to cool at room temperature. We're not going refrigerator with this because it'll get too hard and it won't swirl through, but we do want it to come down at room temperature before we add it to our cold ice cream. It is time to make our ice cream base. Now today we are not going to do a French vanilla base. We're not going to do a custard base with eggs. It's not totally necessary in this ice cream because we have so much richness coming from so many different components, and I didn't want to overwhelm you and make this too complicated. We'll learn to do a custard base in the future for future ice creams, but today we're going to keep it simple, and we're going to use some cornstarch to thicken our ice cream. So in service of that, we got a little cornstarch. We're going to pre-mix it with a little bit of our milk. You always want to mix your starch with some cool liquid first. That way it's dissolved and it's hydrated when it hits the hot liquid and it won't clump up. So there we have our slurry. Into our pan goes a portion of our milk. I bought an organic grass-fed milk for this. You don't have to do that, but man, when you're making ice cream, it does really help for this type of vanilla base to have a really high quality milk. So a nice grass-fed milk is great if you can get it. We're gonna cook a portion of the milk and hold a portion back. That's important because when you cook milk, you bring out these like caramel toffee notes, like you think of sweetened condensed milk, how that tastes. So you're gonna get those from this cooked portion, but we hold back a portion of uncooked to bring those light, sweet dairy notes that we lose when we cook this. So that mixture, that partial and partial mixture really makes for a great ice cream in the end. So we got a part of our milk in here. We've got our sugar. This is all the sugar to sweeten all of our ice cream. A little bit of salt always brings out the sweet in any dessert. And then we have our pre-mixed cornstarch, which is gonna tie the whole room together without using eggs, which can be a little tricky. Whisk this together, put it about medium heat. You don't want to scorch it. So medium is good. You don't have to whisk constantly, but whisk often to keep the heat even and to keep that cornstarch from settling to the bottom. We're just gonna bring this up to a light simmer and we're gonna simmer it for about 1 minute. All right, we are getting close. I'm starting to see the milk steam. Once I see some steam, I'll whisk continuously because it's gonna start to thicken quickly and I don't want any lumps, and I can see that it's thickening already. Turn that heat down to low, and I am gonna let this simmer for 1 minute. Start my timer now. And that is a minute. Kill the heat. We've got a nice thickened mixture, real ribbony. That's what we're looking for. I'm gonna transfer this to a metal bowl so that I can chill it down quicker. So we have our thickened milk here. Looks kind of like sweetened condensed milk. That's what we want. I can smell it. It smells kind of toffee-esque already, and that's great. And then we reserve some of our cold milk, which is going to help cool this down, but like I said, it's also going to add nice, sweet, fresh dairy flavors that we haven't cooked out. And I reserved all of our cold heavy cream for this part. Using a mixture of cream and milk helps us to balance the fat content of the ice cream. You know, if ice cream is too fatty, it can be a little bit like tacky on your tongue and not great. But if it's not fatty enough, it'll build up big ice crystals, it'll feel harsh, and it won't be rich enough. So we're trying to achieve the perfect balance here. We always add our vanilla off the heat so we don't cook off any of its flavor notes. Now, yes, if I was making just a vanilla ice cream, I would get a vanilla pod and use that. Fresh vanilla is best. But this ice cream has so many different flavors in it, you really don't need to spend the money on a fresh vanilla pod. Just a good quality vanilla extract will do just fine. Let's give this a taste. See how we're doing. Oh man, that's so good, guys. That's a quality vanilla ice cream base. Even though we didn't use eggs, I mean, the flavor's all there. You've got those light, like caramelized dairy notes from the cooked milk, the richness of the cream, and then the fresh sweet dairy notes, a little bit of vanilla, some sugar. It's all you need. This would make a great vanilla ice cream. Of course, we are gonna add other stuff to it. Now, it is very important. You know, like the science of making ice cream is that you wanna keep it in motion while it's freezing so that no big ice crystals can build up. That's how you make a smooth ice cream. But also you want it to freeze quickly. When something freezes really slowly because it starts out hot, you get bigger ice crystals. When it freezes quickly because it starts out cold, you get really small, smooth ice crystals, and that's what we want. So when you're making an ice cream, you always want to chill your base ahead of time. A lot of people will make it the day before, put it in the fridge covered, leave it overnight, and if you want to do that, that's totally fine. I want to get this all done today, so I'm going to chill mine in an ice bath. The important thing to note is that you always get your base down to at least 40 degrees before you add it to your ice cream maker. All right, our ice cream base is fully chilled down to 40 degrees. Now I have my ice cream maker here. Use whichever ice cream maker you have according to the package directions. I've got a nice Cuisinart 2-quart here. Guys, I picked this up at a Goodwill for 15 bucks. When you're at a thrift store or Goodwill or something, look in that kitchenware section because they got great deals often. This is one of those ones you pop the centerpiece in the freezer overnight to get it fully chilled down. It's not a compressor model, but I don't need one. I don't make ice cream that often. So this is a great model. 2 quarts should fit exactly what we've got here, plus our toppings. So all we're gonna do is fire it up, pour our ice cream base in. We're gonna let that freeze. It should take around 20-25 minutes. And once it's hardened up, we are gonna add our toppings because we don't want them to just sink to the bottom. We want them to swirl through. All right, guys, we are about there. I'm just gonna kill that for a second so you can hear me talk. We're thick now, so we're gonna add in all of our swirls. We've got, of course, our cheese right there, our chilled apples, looking great. And I also have some shortbread cookies. These are store-bought. I didn't want to overcomplicate things and have you make cookies too. Store-bought shortbread is great. This was like my local store had these Galetti. They're an Italian brand of shortbread, which is great. I, of course, would have preferred to have some Girl Scout shortbreads. What are they called? Babe, what are those called? Are they just called shortbreads?
Trefoils, those ones?
Trefoils, yeah. The trefoils are my favorite shortbreads. My mother-in-law did work for the Girl Scouts for 15 years, and I don't have any trefoils. And I blame you, Grace. But anyway, I got these Italian ones. They're pretty good. Like I said, not gonna make you guys make shortbread cookies for this. Get some store-bought ones. If you got some Girl Scout cookies, great. Everything is solid now, so we're gonna start to mix this in. We're just gonna go one thing at a time, one scoop at a time. So like a scoop of cheese, a scoop of apple, a scoop of shortbread, and then we'll alternate to get it all to go through smoothly. I'm gonna crank this back up. You're not gonna be able to hear me, but here we go. Those are mixed through, that's perfect. Now this is essentially soft serve. If you like soft serve, you could serve it right now. Home ice cream machines tend to make your soft serve a little bit too soft, I think. So at least get it into the freezer for a little bit, in my opinion. But you could serve it right now, or if you like your ice cream hard, get it into the freezer for a few hours to let it fully harden up. I put my bowl that I'm gonna transfer this to in the freezer to pre-chill it. We don't want anything to melt before it goes in the freezer. If it starts to melt and then you put it in the freezer, you can get big ice crystals and it won't be as smooth. That is good and thick and frozen. Let's give it a little soft serve try. Oh man. I don't want to double dip, but you guys, man, that's so good. All right, I'm gonna hold off on talking about it until we go for our final taste. Let's get this in a bowl. On an ice cream maker, you're always gonna have some ice cream that gets really hard on the sides, so use a metal spoon to get that off. You don't wanna waste it. Just scoop it out of there. We're gonna pop it into the freezer, get a cover on, a few hours, take it to the hardness of your liking, depending on how cold your freezer is. And then of course, once it's solid, especially if you're leaving it for a while before you serve people, you can always move it to the fridge to let it soften up a little bit so it's easier to scoop. We've had a few hours to harden up. Let's give this ice cream a try. 2 scoops, why not, right? We took the time to make it. Let's eat it. Looking beautiful. You can see those bits of cookie and caramel and apple, all the good stuff. That cheese has swirled through nicely. I like my ice cream a little on the softer side, so I didn't make it fully hard. Let's give it a try. That is hella good ice cream, guys. Seriously, I mean, you've never had an ice cream like this? Tons of sweet caramel toffee notes coming through from those apples and that brown sugar and that little bit of cooked cream that tastes a bit like sweetened condensed milk. But then the way that that sweetness balances with the savory from the cheese, I know a lot of people are skeptical about cheddar cheese and ice cream, but I am telling you, with the apple, it's a perfect match. You don't expect it, but it's not overwhelmingly cheesy, guys. You might not even be able to place it if I didn't tell you there was cheddar cheese in it, but it just balances and matches so perfectly. That's why people put a slice of cheddar cheese on apple pie, and it goes so well in ice cream. You get that a la mode factor, you get the savory, you get the sweet. It's everything you want, and you learned how to make it. It wasn't that hard. Really exciting ice cream flavor. Will impress friends and family. Like I said, it impressed the hell out of a dinner party that I had last night. Everybody was skeptical about the cheddar cheese, and everybody ended up loving it in the end. I'm sure you guys are gonna love it too. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, if you're willing to try cheddar cheese in your ice cream, or if you did try it and you liked it, or even if you didn't, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. We want to keep the channel going. We'll see you next time on Bobby's Kitchen.